Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to work with the template file. First thing you want to do is you want to bring it into your project folder. And I want everything to be published in this web for web. And right now it's an empty folder. So originally that's the artwork that I'm going to be importing for the animation, and these are the files that I used to create it. So it's still set up the same way it was for the last two movies. Okay, so let's take a look at this, and I'm going to publish it here real quick, and we'll go back into the browser. First thing I want you to notice is that this is being published all next to this file in here, and I don't want that. I'll fix that in a moment. The way this works is you can click and slide, or you can kind of fling it. You can also go to this pop-up menu and you can navigate within the various slides that you're working with. The reason they're starting off at 0 is because the arrays start off at 0, and just to make it obvious as far as what the setup was to avoid confusion as far as what image you may be looking at, I thought it made sense to set up the numbering that way. So the instance names for the images are also start off at 0, and so too are the instance names of the buttons. Also included is a reference to this box in an array that lists out how everything is set up. Okay, so let's go fix that problem with the publishing. I'm going to throw those away, and I'm going to go back to our animate. I'm going to do a command 3 so we can see how everything is set up, and we'll go to the publish settings, and we're going to go ahead and select the web folder and hit save and hit OK. Now if I do a command return, we'll go back to the preview. Let's take a peek at the folder. For web is now where my site information is being saved. And everything's still working the same way. Alright, so first thing, these pictures are set up to auto center. All your artwork, when you bring it in, you need to make sure that the symbols that you're working with are all centered. All of them are centered, and they're set up to do auto orientations. So make sure that you set that up that way. So if I move these out of the way to different locations and completely mess it up, it's self-correcting. So if we go back over here to the preview, you can see that everything lines itself back up. And that's why you want to set up with the auto-correcting. If for some reason you want a different arrangement of your artwork, maybe you've got it mostly on the left or the right, I can help you during class on how to set that up. But I just did this out of convenience because I knew it would be a lot harder for people to set up the right orientation. So I'll go ahead and undo this. So this is actually out of convenience to have this horizontal, just to get a sense of how everything's going to look when it begins. The other thing in the code is some adjustments that you may want to make on the actual animation. Down here on the bottom, here's where I'm controlling the ease in and ease out, and I've included this web link in here. So if you want to go visit the site where they show examples of how these ease in and ease outs work, it's right in here. So let me do a reload here and clean it up. First thing they show you is a linear animation, and everything is in comparison to the animation. So here's the one that we're using. It just slowly comes to a landing in here. You can see that there are more keyframes in here, so this is going to be a slower part of the animation. There's some others that you can play around with. All you have to do is copy this name and paste it into that location and test it. And the two places that you would put it, you would replace this in here and up here next to the URL. So the URL also tells you where the effect is. The frame rate here is at 100. I kept it short because if it's too high, it has to refresh a lot of frames and it tends to bog everything down. But you can play around with that, increase the number, see if it's set up to your likings. So up on top in here are the array for the pictures. They include the word this, so when we add a new picture in here, we would include the instance name along with the word this. Down here on the bottom is the array for the movement of the buttons, and it also includes the black box, which is down here, and this one over here you can see is the pop-up MC. So if you for whatever reason need to make modifications over here, I will be talking about how to change that up in the movie when we bring in our buttons. But in the next movie I'm only going to bring in the images, and I'll do the button setup in another movie after that.